Moses of Israel. And he was angry. Well, what you think? I'm not a fair person. I don't deal with the situations fairly. And now you don't want any judges anymore. You want a king. But guess what? Guess what God said? God said, give them what they want. He said, if they don't want to be obedient to what I want them to have, let them have what they want. So we must be careful what we ask for. We may get what we ask for, and what we ask for may not be what we really want. And as we know, most of us know the story of Saul, that Saul was anointed, but he became wicked. He started doing things that God told him not to do. And then he wasn't looking good in the sight of God. So what happened was, there was another person that came on the scene that God went to Samuel and said, Samuel, I need you to go to and anoint me a king. And then the king was King David. Remember, he was a little shepherd boy. All the kids in the family, he liked the one that nobody wanted. He was, wasn't, the best of everything, but God had chosen King David to be king of Israel. So during this particular time, Saul was still king, but what happened was Saul found out that David was supposed to be king. So he was out for David's life. So David was out in the wilderness trying to escape the wrath of Saul. So but David had some people around him that was protecting him. So they said he was in the land of Moab. He was in a place where he was in the wilderness where he could be protected. And this is where the story comes into play. What happened was, there was a young lady named Abigail, and in this lesson she's portrayed as being a woman of wisdom. She did something that, if we know the context of that time, women were not supposed to do anything that the husband didn't allow them to do. Whatever the husband say, that's what they were supposed to do. I know it ain't like that tonight. No, y'all looking at me like, you better not say this is how it is now. But that's the order. The husband. But see, the thing is, the key is that if you follow, if the husband is following the commands of God, then you're supposed to follow the commands of the husband. But if he ain't doing what God tells him to do, then that's when you can do your thing. Okay? But if he's doing things according to what God said, you're supposed to follow your husband. Listen to your husband, amen? I know I ain't gonna get too many amens right there, but it's okay. It's all right. But what happened was, they said that during this particular time that David was on the run, he was in the land of Moab, and in the land of Moab there lived a guy named Nabal. He was a rich man. They said he had so many sheep, and actually during this particular time he was shaving the sheep. And they said, so really what it is, that's money time. When he starts shaving the sheep, that means that income is finna come. You know how you get your check from IRS after the end of the year? Everybody be waiting on their check to come. Nabal was finna get paid. But the thing was, because David was in that land, he was protecting Nabal from all enemies. So really, it was like, he didn't have to worry about anything because David was in the land. So, but they said that he was foolish. And actually, Nabal means foolish. And then I found another context that said that Nabal really means failure. It's messed up when somebody give you a name that means failure. But let me say this. Just because somebody named you something, don't mean you got to live up to the name. Somebody on the block he's called Pookie, or somebody has a certain name they call you. You ain't got to live up to boo-boo. You ain't got to live up to that name. You ain't got to live because people call you that. Don't mean you have to do that. But this man was wicked, and then it's amazing how people said that he lived up to that name of being a failure, and we're gonna see why he was a failure. So the story unfolds when David, like I said, was not yet king of Israel. And he was on the run from Saul, and he had his protection there in the wilderness. And what he did, he sent 10 of his men to Nabal to say, hey, we've been protecting you. I'm going to send some of my men there. And all I need for you to is to provide a little bit for them. Give them a little provisions, or maybe give them a meal or do whatever this is because they've been protecting you. And guess what Nabal did? He got arrogant. He's like, I ain't giving them nothing. We probably use a four-letter word there, but he said, I ain't giving them nothing. They ain't getting nothing from me. Y'all see where I'm going with this. So how are you going to take somebody that's been protecting you, doing things for you, and all of a sudden when they ask you to do something for them, they say no? That sounds like a lot of us, don't it? We always got our hand out. We want people to help us, but when it's time for us to help somebody else, we MIA. We missing in action. We nowhere around. We can't even be found. Or they call you.